My brother speaks before anyone sits down. One sentence. That's all it takes to detonate everything I thought was solid. She stole Mom's jewelry. I feel every eye turn toward me at once. The dining room goes completely still. You could hear a pin drop. My mother sits at the head of the table, and without hesitation, without even a flicker of doubt, she nods. A single deliberate nod. Not a question. Not a "let me ask her first." Not even a pause. Just confirmation. Just acceptance. Open my mouth. Nothing comes out. My throat closes. My hands go numb. My father freezes mid-breath. His fork suspended between his plate and his mouth. My sister's fork stops halfway to her plate. The uncle from out of town leans back slightly, reassessing me like I've just transformed into someone dangerous. Someone he needs to be careful around. "We didn't want to do this publicly," my mother says, her voice steady and disappointed. That's the part that kills me. Not the accusation itself. Not the shock of it. But that tone. That carefully measured disappointment in her voice. Like she's been waiting to use that tone on me. And this family dinner is finally her moment. Like she's been preparing for this. I look at my brother. He's not even looking at me. He's looking at her. And she's already made her decision. The decision was made before I even walked through that door. I wait for her to pull me aside that night. To take me into the kitchen when no one is looking. To ask me alone if it's true. To give me one chance to explain before turning the entire family against me. She never asks. Instead, she talks about me like I'm not in the room. She talks about me like I'm not even there anymore. My sister keeps glancing at me, waiting for me to explode or cry or defend myself. I do none of those things. I just sit there, perfectly still, listening to my mother paint a picture of a daughter she barely recognizes. A daughter she's decided I must be. She's been stressed, she tells my aunt the next day. And I know this because my sister calls me to warn me. People do strange things when they're stressed. I think she just needs help. That's not a question. That's a conclusion. That's a verdict delivered without trial. That's a mother deciding her daughter is guilty without hearing a single word of her defense. An hour into the first dinner, my uncle quietly moves his chair away from mine. Subtle. No one else really notices. But I do. I notice everything now. My stomach drops completely. This is real now. This is spreading. This is the moment they stop seeing me as family and start seeing me as a threat. As something to be managed. As someone to avoid. My mother keeps talking for the next few weeks. She doesn't defend me. She explains me away like I'm a problem that needs managing. Not a daughter who deserves a voice. Not a daughter who deserves to be heard. Not a daughter who deserves the basic dignity of being asked. Manipulative, my brother says in the group chat. And the word sticks to me like a stain that won't wash out. Unstable, my sister echoes the next day, suddenly finding her voice now that my mother has given permission to believe whatever she wants about me. Selfish, my father adds quietly over the phone to someone he doesn't realize I can hear. And that one hurts the most because he's not even angry. He just sounds tired, disappointed. Like I've failed some fundamental test of being his daughter. Labels settle fast in families. They layer on top of each other like snow, like ice, burying me completely. Manipulative, unstable, selfish, naive, liar, ungrateful, difficult, just like she always was. I don't argue. I don't cry. I don't scream or beg them to believe me. I sit through family events and I let them name me, fully aware that my silence is probably making them more certain I'm guilty. That my lack of defense is proof of my guilt. That only a true thief would be so calm. My brother watches my face carefully every time we're in the same room, waiting for a reaction. He's searching for fear or anger or panic. He doesn't get one. My face stays calm. My hands stay steady. I don't give him anything to work with. Ask Mom what she saw, he says suddenly at another family gathering, and my mother's jaw tightens slightly. That's interesting. That's a tell. He's prompting her. He needs her to say something specific that he's coached her on. He's not confident enough in his own story to stand alone. He needs her backup. I file that away carefully in my mind. I'll need it later. The flashback hits me that night, lying in bed unable to sleep. Months earlier. Small comments. Nothing that seemed important at the time. Nothing that raised any flags. "How's Mom doing?" my brother would ask me during random phone calls. "She seems stressed lately. Is she okay?" I thought it was concern. I genuinely believed he cared about her well-being. I'd tell him about her health, her medications, her recent arguments with Dad. I was being honest. I was being a good daughter, sharing information with a son who seemed to care deeply about his mother. He was building a case. He was collecting ammunition. I remember the first time he asked about money. It was casual, completely natural. We were at Mom's house, and he asked to borrow some cash for lunch that day. She gave it to him immediately without hesitation. He counted it in front of me and asked carefully, "Does she usually have this much cash around? Like on hand?" I didn't think anything of it at the time. Just my brother being curious about Mom's finances in a general way. Now I understand what he was really doing. He was checking. He was testing what was available. He was planning. He was sizing up the target. He was preparing. Growing up, my mistakes were lessons. His were misunderstandings. That's just how our family worked. When I failed a test in high school, my mother sat me down in the living room and had a serious talk about discipline and responsibility and consequences. When he failed a test the following year, she blamed the teacher and hired him a private tutor immediately. When I came home late, I was grounded for 2 weeks. When he came home late past midnight, he had a good reason and she believed him without question. When I wanted something, I had to earn it. When he wanted something, she found a way to give it to him. I trained myself not to notice. It was easier that way. Easier to accept that I was the responsible one, the one who had to be better than everyone else, the one who couldn't afford to mess up even once. He was the golden child. I was the reliable one. The boring one. The one who wouldn't cause problems. We had different jobs in this family, different values, different standards. But now, sitting alone in my apartment at 2 in the morning, I realize something much worse. Something that makes my skin crawl. Every lie he needed to work required her approval. Every story needed her validation. She had to believe him for this to work. She had to choose him. She had to stand behind him. And she did. Because deep down she always had. She always would. It was easier to believe him than to question him. It was easier to turn on me than to defend me. I replay the accusation in my head for the 100th time. Then the 1000th time. She stole Mom's jewelry. Specifically, he said it was a diamond bracelet. Grandmother's diamond bracelet. Family heirloom. Worth maybe $8,000. Here's the problem with that accusation, and it's a massive problem. I know exactly where I was the day he claims it was stolen. Have receipts. Calendar entries. Multiple text messages. Witness statements from colleagues. Timestamps. I was in another city, 3 hours away, attending a professional conference. I was there for 3 full days. I didn't go home during that time. I didn't have access to the house. I couldn't have stolen anything even if I'd wanted to. The timeline doesn't fit. It's not even close. It's mathematically impossible. And the worst part, I never thought I'd need to prove it because I never thought my family would believe such an obvious lie without asking for evidence first. Without asking me anything. I sit down at my computer at midnight and start gathering proof methodically. Credit card statements showing hotel charges. Hotel confirmation email with exact dates. Conference registration with my name and ID number. Text messages from 4 different colleagues confirming I was there every day. Pictures of me at the conference venue, dated that exact day with timestamps. Proof exists. Detailed, undeniable, irrefutable proof. I just never thought I'd need it. I just never thought my mother would lie about me. I just never thought my brother would fabricate something so serious. I just never thought they'd do this together. I tell myself not to explain. Not yet. Not now. Not while my emotions are still raw and bleeding. Explaining gives them something to twist immediately. If I defend myself now while I'm still in shock, I'm reacting. I'm emotional. I'm desperate. I'm exactly what a guilty person would look like. They'll pick my words apart and find contradictions that don't exist. They'll say I'm overcomplicating things, that an innocent person wouldn't need evidence, that my detailed defense is actually proof of my guilt. Silence gives me space. Silence gives me power. Silence makes me unknowable and therefore dangerous to their narrative. So I say nothing. Not at work, where people start asking questions about family drama they've somehow heard about. Not to friends who've heard the rumors through mutual connections. Not to my parents when they call, which they do less frequently now with each passing week. And definitely not to my brother, who seems to be enjoying his new role as the concerned family member who had to expose his sister's dark side. My calm makes them uncomfortable. I can see it in how they look at me when we do see each other by accident. They're waiting for me to crack. They're waiting for emotion to prove their point. They're waiting for me to break down and cry or scream. Never comes. Days pass. Then weeks turn into months. I'm excluded from calls. Dinners are planned without me. My sister stops texting me entirely. My uncle forgets my birthday as if I've already been removed from the family records. The family group chat becomes conversations that would make more sense if I weren't in them. But they don't remove me. They just talk around me like I'm invisible. They think it's over. They think I've been dealt with. They think they won. And then they start speaking freely again. They relax completely. They stop watching what they say around each other. They stop being careful. They stop thinking I'm paying attention. My brother jokes about how I handled it badly. Like I'm a problem he solved perfectly. Like he's accomplished something great. Like he won a war he started. But here's what he doesn't realize. I'm still listening. I'm at family events. I'm in group chats reading everything. I'm paying attention to every single word. And I'm hearing contradictions that make no sense. My brother told my uncle the bracelet was missing for 2 full weeks before anyone noticed. He told my sister it was a month at least. He told my father it was just 3 days. He's not sticking to the same timeline at all, and that tells me he never verified anything. He made it up as he went. He's improvising. And my mother, who confirmed his story, probably never actually checked the jewelry either. They just believed each other because they had a plan and a deal. She calls me alone on a Thursday evening around dinner time. Her tone is gentle, almost warm, like we haven't been at war for the past 2 months. Like none of this happened. "Sweetheart, I know this has been hard on you," she says, and my chest tightens because she sounds like she cares about me. Like she's concerned. We want our family to heal. We want to move past this. And for that to happen, you need to take responsibility for what you did. You understand that, don't you? I don't say anything. I let her keep talking. If you just admit to it, apologize to your brother, apologize to me, we can move past this. The family wants to forgive you. But you have to meet us halfway. You have to do your part. That's when it hits me like a punch to the stomach. She's trying to force me to confess to something I didn't do. She's offering forgiveness I don't need because her entire plan depends on me accepting guilt. On me validating their lie. Then she says something that makes my blood go absolutely cold. "I know you must have needed the money. Times are tough. We know things have been difficult for you financially. We won't judge you too harshly if you just be honest about it." How does she know I've been having money problems? I never told her. I only told my brother. 3 months ago, in a moment of weakness and exhaustion, I mentioned that I'd been stressed about bills and my job situation. She references details I never told her, and suddenly the entire picture becomes crystal clear. This wasn't spontaneous. This wasn't my brother making an observation one day. This was planned. They planned it together. They coordinated. They came up with this together and executed it like professionals. Understand it now. This wasn't loyalty. This was collaboration. This was conspiracy. My mother didn't believe my brother because he presented evidence. She didn't believe him because it was obviously true. She believed him because they came up with this story together. She knew it was false. She participated in it anyway deliberately. Why? That's the question that keeps me awake at 3 in the morning. That's the question that haunts me. Why would she do this to me? Why would she help destroy her own daughter's reputation? Why would she sacrifice me? I think back to every argument. Every time my brother got away with something serious. Every time she chose his side automatically. Every time she positioned herself as the victim in our family dynamics. And I realize, she's always been this way. She's always chosen him. She's always protected him. She's always made excuses for him. And now that I'm old enough to question her authority, now that I might not need her as much, now that I'm becoming my own person, she's decided I'm dangerous. The worst part is understanding her motivation. She's afraid of losing control over me. She's afraid that I'll become independent and won't need her validation anymore. By making me look like a criminal, she's trying to keep me dependent on her forgiveness. She's trying to keep me small. She's trying to make me the family's scapegoat, the one everyone blames, the one who owes them all something. But I refuse to play that game. So I decide something important. I'm not going to clear my name yet. Not because I'm afraid, but because I'm going to let this grow. I'm going to let them get more comfortable. I'm going to let them build an even bigger lie. I'm going to let them relax. And then I'm going to dismantle it piece by piece. I allow their version to spread throughout the family and beyond. Each retelling adds new details that don't match the last version. My brother tells his work friend I was always jealous of him and bitter about his success. My mother tells her book club I have a history of instability and erratic behavior. My sister tells her boyfriend I've always been difficult and a burden to the family. The story mutates, grows like a cancer. It becomes more elaborate with each telling, takes on a life of its own. But with each retelling there are new contradictions. New details that contradict the earlier versions they told other people. New holes in the narrative that grow bigger each time someone retells it. I start writing everything down meticulously. Not as a defense yet. As a record. As evidence. Every story I hear secondhand. Every contradiction. Every inconsistency. Every time their narrative shifts subtly or dramatically. I create a detailed spreadsheet. Dates, times, what was said exactly, who said it, which version contradicts what they said before. It's meticulous. It's obsessive. But it's exactly what I need. It's my insurance policy. A cousin reaches out to me quietly at a family event. She pulls me aside and asks if something feels off about the whole situation surrounding the accusation. I don't explain myself. I don't defend my character. I don't beg her to believe me. I just say, listen carefully. Pay attention. Listen to every version of the story they tell. Notice what changes between conversations. Notice what details are different. She starts doing exactly that. She becomes my eyes and ears. She begins comparing notes between conversations she has with my brother and with my mother. She asks pointed questions in innocent ways. She listens carefully to what they say and what they don't say. The doubt starts to grow. And once doubt starts, once it takes root, it spreads. My brother jokes about how I handled it badly at a family gathering, laughing with others. He's comfortable now. He's confident. He thinks he won. He thinks he got away with it. He makes a critical mistake. At a family gathering with extended relatives, he shares something way too specific. He mentions details about the stolen bracelet that are too precise, too rehearsed, too perfectly remembered. He describes where Mom keeps her jewelry in a way that makes me realize he's describing something from a completely different time period. Not recent. Not current. He's confusing his stories without realizing it. He's mixing up details. He's getting confused about which lie is which. And someone else notices. My aunt, who's sharp and observant, asks a natural follow-up question, and his answer doesn't match what he said 2 weeks before to someone else. My mother tells the accusation differently to 2 different people. Neither version matches the original story at all. To my aunt, she says the bracelet went missing weeks before anyone noticed it was gone. It was a gradual thing. To my father's sister, she says she discovered it missing immediately and knew right away with absolute certainty that it was me who took it. Two completely different stories. Different timeline. Different details. Different sequence of events. Different emotional responses. The family starts comparing notes quietly. Without me saying a single word, they're finding the contradictions. They're noticing the inconsistencies. They're starting to wonder what's true. Someone challenges a small detail at a family dinner gathering. Just one question. Nothing aggressive. Wait, which bracelet are we talking about? Because I thought you said earlier that it was found in Mom's room. My brother freezes completely. For half a second, his entire face goes blank. Like his brain is rebooting. Like he's searching for the right response. Then he looks at my mother for help. He's not confident enough to answer on his own without validation. He needs her to confirm the story. He needs her to back him up and tell everyone the same version. She doesn't. She just looks uncomfortable. She stays quiet. That half second of panic. That moment of looking for validation he doesn't receive. That's when I know I've won. That's when I know the lie is falling apart on its own. I watch him squirm internally. I watch him realize that his safety net is disintegrating. My mother, who was supposed to have his back unconditionally, is now hesitating. She's now questioning whether she wants to keep defending this lie. The complicity that bonded them is now a liability, a shared secret that could destroy her credibility completely if exposed. He doesn't know that I have the messages. He doesn't know that I've documented everything. He doesn't know that every step of his unraveling is exactly what I've been waiting for. I overhear them fighting. My mother and brother. Quiet, sharp, desperate words. You said this would never come back to me. My mother hisses behind a closed door. There's real fear in her voice. Panic. Regret. It won't, my brother says, but he doesn't sound certain anymore. He sounds like he's trying to convince himself. People are asking questions. Real questions. Serious questions. I don't like this. This wasn't supposed to happen. Mom, we've come too far. We can't back down now. If we back down, she wins. The desperation in his voice is almost beautiful. Terrible but beautiful. He's realized that this lie is bigger than he thought. That it's spreading further. That it's harder to control. And now his mother is turning on him. She's getting scared. But not yet. Not fully. She's just scared of the consequences. I share one document. Just one. No emotion. No accusation. No dramatic confrontation. Just facts. I send my mother the hotel confirmation from the conference. The exact dates. Where I was. The city. The confirmation number. Everything. I don't write a message. Don't explain. I don't ask questions. I just send the proof. Cold. Undeniable. Final. Silence replaces certainty immediately. She doesn't respond to my text. She doesn't call me. She doesn't try to explain it away. She doesn't ask questions. The proof sits between us like a bomb. My brother gets louder now. Aggressive. Angry. Desperate. He starts talking about how he was just trying to protect the family. How he was concerned about Mom's safety. How he was the one being brave enough to say what needed to be said. How he was the hero. My mother gets moral now. She talks about family loyalty and how everyone is overreacting. She frames it as protecting the family from outside judgment and suspicion. People are talking, she says at a family gathering. We need to present a united front. We need to show people that we're solid. Someone asks, protecting it from who exactly? And no one has an answer. The question hangs in the air. I calmly ask them to repeat the dates. Loud. Together. In front of everyone. So the bracelet went missing on which day exactly? Let's get the timeline straight. My brother says one specific date with confidence. My mother says a completely different date. My sister says a third date entirely. I don't argue. I don't raise my voice. I just write them all down slowly, deliberately, on a piece of paper so everyone can see the contradictions clearly. These don't match, I say simply. Then I wait. I let the silence speak. My brother changes his story again. This time people notice immediately. No one has to be convinced. The contradiction is obvious. It's undeniable. He's panicking now. He's losing control of the narrative. He's losing the ability to manage the lie. Someone asks me to explain my side. Finally, after months of silence, after weeks of suspicion, someone is asking for my version. Someone wants to hear what I have to say. I'm ready. I've been ready. I've spent weeks preparing for this moment. I've rehearsed in my mind how to present the information without seeming rehearsed. I've practiced staying calm when every emotion inside me wants to explode. I've learned how to deliver truth in a way that doesn't sound like accusations but like inevitable facts. My brother is watching me now with genuine fear in his eyes. He knows what's coming. He can feel it. My mother is pale. She's realized that the moment she agreed to this lie, she signed up to stand beside him while he unravels completely. There's no backing out now. There's no middle ground. There's only the truth and its consequences. I don't argue. I don't get emotional or defensive. I walk them through events like a professional timeline presentation. Here's where I was. Here's the undeniable proof. Here's why the accusation is mathematically impossible. Here are the contradictions in their story. Here are the different versions they told different people. Here's the pattern. I'm organized. I'm systematic. I'm undeniable. And then I reveal the one piece I've been saving. The nuclear option that ends this completely. I pull out messages between my brother and mother from months before the accusation was made. Private messages where they discuss handling a family situation. Where they talk about needing to remind me of my place. Where they plan and strategize. The most important proof. They were discussing this scheme before it happened. The final piece shows my mother knew before anyone else, and chose sides deliberately, with intention, with malice. She didn't believe a story. She created one. She built it. She participated in it. The messages are clear and undeniable. They planned this conspiracy. They executed it. They expected me to either confess or disappear from their lives. No one knows what to say to her. She was supposed to be the moral center of this family. She was supposed to be the one who protected her children. She was supposed to be the one I could trust. Instead, she orchestrated a deliberate conspiracy against her own daughter. The disappointment in the room is suffocating. The room turns quiet. The truth doesn't shout. Doesn't need to. It doesn't need drama. It just sits there, undeniable and absolute. My brother realizes he's alone. My mother can't help him anymore. She's exposed as complicit. She's exposed as a co-conspirator. My father looks like he's aging in real time, understanding what his wife did, what his son did, and what they did to their daughter. My sister is crying. Not because she's emotional about being wrong, but because she defended them. She attacked me. She believed them. She said awful things about me based on a lie they created together. My brother loses credibility completely. People stop inviting him to things. People stop trusting his word on anything. He becomes the person who cried wolf. He becomes unreliable. My mother loses authority immediately. Her moral voice in the family is gone. No one listens to her advice anymore. No one believes her stories. No one respects her judgment. Apologies come, but they're hollow and late. They're not real apologies. They're not apologies born from genuine remorse. They're apologies because they got caught. They're apologies because the truth came out. They're apologies because they have no other choice. My father says he didn't know anything. My sister says she was manipulated too. My brother says he was just confused and misunderstood. But I know the truth. They knew. They chose to believe because it was easier than asking questions. They chose cruelty over kindness. I don't punish them. I don't forgive on demand. I set boundaries and I keep them. I don't attend family dinners anymore. I don't return calls immediately. I don't pretend things are normal when they aren't. I don't act like nothing happened. I'm civil. I'm respectful. But I'm no longer their daughter who can be manipulated or doubted or thrown under the bus when convenient. I'm someone who will always remember what they did. Someone who will always know their capacity for cruelty and collaboration. Someone who learned that family doesn't automatically mean loyalty. And I walk away from that table, from those dinners, from that version of my family, completely and utterly intact. My silence didn't destroy them. Their lies did. Their choices did. Their conspiracy against me did. I just had the strength and intelligence to let the truth speak for itself.